An up swap. The Flyers trading former team captain Dave Poulin to the Bruins in return for veteran Ken Linseman. Linseman coming back to the team that originally drafted him. Poulin was the Flyers captain for 5 seasons, but he was stripped of the captaincy at the start of the season. Maybe the seeds were planted then. Let's go to the face-off. Here's Jim Hewson.
Thank you, Paul. Welcome to the Winnipeg Arena. The Quebec Nordiques against the Winnipeg Jets, starting in goal tonight, as he will a lot down the stretch for the Nordiques, is 32-year-old Greg Millen, who's 2-4-0. The team is 2-5 since Greg moved over from St. Louis and finally reported. The Nordiques are 21st dead last in goals against average. Sergei Milnikov is the backup for Greg tonight, as Ron Tugnut has stayed home on this trip, with a knee injury. Daniel Berthiaume, a 23-year-old, is the starter tonight for the Winnipeg Jets. Last played in a win over Detroit. He's backed up by Bob Essenza. The Jets are 10th overall in goals against. Ron Hogarth is the referee tonight. Swede Knox and Jerry Pateman are the linesmen, and this game from Winnipeg is underway. Pat Ellenuk starts with Brent Ashton and Mark Kumpel as the forwards for the Jets. They've had to do some line juggling with an injury to Thomas Steen. He's out with back spasms, so their best player is on the shelf tonight, which may even this game up considerably. Ashton moving in for the net, takes the shot, and Millen standing up made the save. Ashton looked back as though he thought that play was offside, and then decided he'd head for the net while he had the chance. And the Quebec Nordiques will make their first line change of this game. Randy Carlyle is the starting left defenseman with Teppo Numminen on the right side, as he usually is with Carlyle. Here's Stephen Finn back for the puck for the Nordiques. Joe Sakic is number 19 up front with Michel Goulet and Peter Stastny, a pair of veterans playing the wings for the great youngster from Burnaby, Joe Sakic, who passes the puck into the middle and had it poked away. And here's Doug Smale, number 12. His pass to Dale Hawerchuk. This time the Jets are offside. A minute into this game, no score.
Well, life hasn't been easy for Quebec Nordiques coach Michel Bergeron this year, and I don't think that he ever thought it was going to be quite this difficult. He says he's not sleeping very much at night, and of course any coach doesn't sleep when you're not winning, but yet he thinks this organization has a bright future. And if in fact they do come up making a couple of trades and he ends up being as happy with those players as he is right now with goaltender Greg Millen, Michel Bergeron will sleep a lot more at nights.
Particularly happy that Greg Millen decided to report finally after considering the trade for quite some time. That trade sent Jeff Brown to St. Louis, and Tony Herkus came over with Greg Millen. He reported right away. Darren Kimball and Jeff Jackson keeping the puck in for the Nordiques. Kimball, number 15, to the point for Fogarty, and that was poked away by number 28, Greg Paslowski. Paslowski's out playing with Smale and Hawerchuk on the Winnipeg forward line against a robust line, at least 2/3 of it is, with Jackson and Kimball playing with Claude Lozelle of the Nordiques. Here's Hawerchuk over the blue line. The centering pass. Paslowski shoots. That hit a leg in front. Mario Marois blocked the shot. Smale centering pass. No Jets there to pick it up. And the Nordiques move the puck to center. Marois, number 44, to Claude Lozelle. His hard shot is blocked by Daniel Berthiaume. Mantha takes his man out. Tony McKegney's in after the puck, and he was checked by Peter Taglianetti. Joe Cirella trying to keep this play onside for Quebec, and he can't. But Brian Lawton brings the puck in and was decked by Taglianetti. Phil Sykes gets the loose puck, moving in with Paul McDermott. Mantha moving in with them as well. Sykes for Taglianetti, who pinches in on the left side, has a look around behind the net for Sykes. He's tied up. McDermott is checked, and the puck is cleared to the point, not out. Taglianetti's shot is just wide of the net. 2.5 minutes in, no score, and a good early pace to this game between Quebec and Winnipeg. And now there'll be the first penalty call of the game, and it will go against Stephen Finn of the Nordiques. He threw Paul McDermott to the ice, and the Winnipeg Jets will go to the power play. And we'll return on Molson's NHL Tonight with the power play right after this. Stephen Finn has gone off for holding at 2:39. He held on to Paul McDermott and threw him to the ice. Here's the replay.
Watch McDermott. He's trying to get away from Finn, and Finn just manhandled him and threw him to the ice.
And that's not easy to do with Paul, who's a pretty tough right winger. Winnipeg's power play ranks 17th in the league. Calgary's is the best. Montreal's is the worst in the league. Quebec's penalty killing, middle of the pack at 12th. The Nordiques have scored 4 shorthanded goals. Gillis and Deblois, the penalty killers, up front with Curtis Lecision and Mario Marois. Winnipeg power play, as you might expect, features Dale Howarchuk out with Brent Ashton and Pat Elenick, although Thomas Steen might be playing on it if he were in the game.
Well, when you look at the Jets power play, it's one area that I thought Bob Murdoch would have a far better success rate with than they have right now. Murdoch was an excellent power play coach when he was with the Chicago Blackhawks as their head coach, and also from his understanding of working with Bob Johnson for 5 years behind the bench. And I think that Murdoch has a good hold of power play.
Claire Drake has done a lot of work defensively with the Winnipeg Jets, and he's helped them have the #1 penalty killing unit in the National Hockey League. No one stepped forward to take credit for the power play yet. Not that Claire is quick to take any credit for the penalty killing either, but he has done a nice job with it. Minute 20 seconds to go in the penalty to Finn. Freddie Olesen, who's on the point with Dave Ellett, moved it into Pat Elenick, going for the net all alone. He scores! Elenick.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the show about some of the differences with the Winnipeg Jets this year. Pat Elenick is definitely one. He was being hampered from behind initially as he was trying to control the puck. Now, as he takes it into his zone, he was being clipped from behind, but he was almost at an impossible angle on Greg Millen, yet found the room low, right along the ice.
A power play goal, the 20th of the season for Pat Elenick. And Greg Millen might be getting used to the defense parking like that with the Nordiques. It's not quite the same. He was with a vastly improved St. Louis team, and the Nordiques have some trouble sometimes defensively as the puck is up and out of play.
Nordiques have some big problems defensively. They are in bottom place overall when it comes to their defensive record. And so it's a big adjustment for Greg Millen. Yet Greg Millen's got an excellent attitude. In talking to him before the game tonight, he knows they've got some problems, but he really enjoys the way that the organization in Quebec has treated him. He's a very happy goaltender in that respect right now, and just knows that this hockey club can, of course, only get better.
The scoring play again, Elenick's 20th of the season from Olesen and Ashton at 3:30 with Finn in the penalty box. 1-0 Jets. McDermott and Finn in after the puck. There's a centering pass. Sykes trying to get a handle on it. His shot is blocked by Millen and pulled out of the air on the rebound, with McDermott literally on the doorstep and almost in the door.
McDermott got a stick right across the back, I think, from Finn and went down pretty hard. McDermott is a tough character, though, and he can handle those situations pretty well. That's one area I think that Greg Millen has noticed a big difference coming from St. Louis to Quebec is that net coverage.
McDermott moved over from Hartford, where Greg Millen used to play as well. That deal sent Randy Cunnyworth to the Whalers. And the arrival of McDermott has led some to believe that Gord Donnelly, another robust right winger of the Jets, will soon be traded. Dave McElwain to the net, and his shot went just wide, and he had lots of room to go straight for the goal there as well. McElwain's playing with McDermott and Phil Sykes against Sakic, Stastny, and Goulet. Carlisle's shot from the point was tipped by Sykes just wide. McDermott hit by Finn behind the net. Goulet comes back to collect the puck, checked by Sykes, and Stastny moves the puck to center to Joe Sakic. The Nordiques' leading scorer to Brian Fogarty, who's poke checked by Randy Carlisle, and the puck drifts out to center. We're 4.5 minutes in with the Jets leading 1-0 on the power play goal by Pat Elenick. Curtis Lecision lost the puck. Dave McElwain took it from him, but the Nordiques got it back. There's a penalty coming up on the play. McElwain was upset by Lecision, but the penalty will be on McElwain. A roughing call on Dave McElwain, who got tied up with Curtis Lecision in front of the Nordiques net. And now it's the Nordiques' turn to go on the power play with the Jets leading 1-0 on Molson's NHL Tonight. Here's Paul Romanuk.
And our first update features the Islanders and Vancouver. The Islanders, the hottest team in the NHL. One big reason, great efforts like this one from Randy Wood. gets on the outside of the defenseman and beats Kirk McLean. It is 1-0 for the Islanders. They have won their last 6 games.
McElwain for roughing on Lecision at 4:45 gives the Nordiques their first power play.
Well, Greg Millen was pretty positive that it was McElwain that was getting this penalty, even though Lecision kind of gave McElwain a stick going back, but you can see that Millen's taken off.
Dave just fell over. I guess he tripped over that red line, but he did rough Curtis Lecision. So the Nordiques go to the power play here. Joe Sakic moves back to the point with Mario Marois. Lafleur's up front. And he's playing with Brian Lawton and Tony McKegney. 2 players who moved over to the Nordiques just this season. Lawton on waivers from Hartford, McKegney in a deal from Detroit. The Jets have the best penalty-killing unit in the National Hockey League. Fenton, Boschman out killing, along with Mo Mantha and Peter Taglianetti. Lafleur on the right wings after the puck. Cleared but not out. Mario Marois takes the shot into a crowd in front. Taglianetti got the bounce off his skate and gets the puck onto his stick and sends it down the ice. 1:15 left in McElwain's minor penalty. Jets 1, Nords nothing. Guy Lafleur with a blast from outside the blue line. Stopped by Berthiaume. And in every building you hear that chant of Guy now, each time Lafleur plays.
Well, you gotta love the guy, and I mean, especially the way that he has played and the leadership that he has provided as well.
Here's Mark Kumpel with a shot, and he didn't miss by much, blasting the shot. Just by Greg Millen. Sakic plays the puck back to Marois. 35 seconds left in McElwain's minor penalty. Here's Lafleur with Sakic. Back pass for Stastny, who pulls the puck in over the blue line, and it's a delayed offside, but the Jets are able to clear. Now just 20 seconds left in the penalty. Stastny with Lafleur and Goulet. A lot of experience on the ice right now for the Nordiques on this power play unit, with Cirella and Fogarty on the points. About 2,600 NHL games of experience up front with Stastny, Goulet, and Lafleur on this power play. Now Lafleur's off for Deblois. The penalty to McElwain's over. And here's a 3-on-1 for the Jets. McElwain, Ashton, great save by Millen.
Well, Millen was in perfect positioning. On the other hand, the forwards and defensemen in front of him weren't. They had just come off of the power plays. The Jets were back at even strength. It was a 3-on-1. Now look at this play. Millen gets back into perfect positioning right in the middle of the crease. And as a result, Ashton didn't have nearly as much room to shoot at, because you could also see how far Millen came out right at the top of his crease. The Quebec Nordiques would be better off playing either on the power play or killing penalties, because they're kind of in the middle of the pack. 10th best on power play, 12th best killing penalties. It's when they're even strength that they're in trouble.
7 minutes into the first period. 1-0 Winnipeg. The team's at even in full strength again. Here's Pazlowski breaking for the net. Millen made a save as Pazlowski tried to trick him right at the goal mouth. Pazlowski playing with Smale and Howarchuk against Paul Gillis, who's chasing the puck with Ken McRae and Lucien Deblois of the Nordiques. Stephen Finn, number 29, shoots a rolling puck in on Daniel Berthiaume, who hasn't been busy. The shots are 6-2 early in this game in favor of the Jets. Howarchuk, rink wide, and the puck drifts in. Joe Cirella's back to collect it. Curtis Lecision gets the puck out to center. Dave Ellis back to collect it. The Nordiques are changing on the fly. Here's Freddie Olesen moving up. Takes a shot. Millen makes the save. Boschman picks up the loose puck. Donnelly into the corner, takes the pass, and then put it to the other corner where Paul Fenton is over to pick it up. Lecision with a chance to clear the puck, and he does, with some help from Jeff Jackson, get the puck out to center ice. Boschman, Fenton, and Donnelly, the Winnipeg forwards, starting to move out of their own zone. Number 11, Fenton. Rubbed out on the boards by Darren Kimball. Boschman's after the puck. To the front of the net. Fenton couldn't tip it. He was tied up by Joe Sorella. Almost 9 minutes in, 1-0 Jets on Pat Ellenuk's power play goal. And the Nordiques will change on the fly. Winnipeg Jets unbeaten in their last 8 home games, and Mark Kumpel streaks for the net and scores! 2-0 Winnipeg.
Interesting goal by Kumpel. First of all, Carlisle passes him the puck. Now watch the angle that Kumpel goes in at. He's a right-hand shot, and so he's cutting towards the net. Now, I think Greg Millen gets fooled here because Millen thinks he's coming all the way across. Watch where he goes with the puck. He goes back to the short side. Good play by Kumpel. Good speed and good strength cutting to the net.
2-0 Winnipeg on the 4th goal of the season from Mark Kumpel at 9:09 of the first period. And the Nordiques, which haven't won a game on the road in their last 10 starts since the 22nd of November in Hartford, are in a hole again here. Carlisle and Ellenuk draw assists on the goal by Kumpel to make it 2-0 Winnipeg. Here's Kumpel trying to set up Ashton as the Jets come looking for more. Ellenuk can't come up with a puck. Mario Marois, number 44, the veteran defenseman, moves out slowly for Quebec to Tony McKegney. Brian Lawton made a move on Kumpel to McKegney. His shot kicked out, and Lafleur couldn't shoot on the rebound. He gets the puck in front. McKegney shot. He scores! And the Nordiques are on the board.
Now that made Michel Bergeron feel a little bit better. The veteran Tony McKegney picking up that puck in the slot. Now watch as Lafleur gets possession of the puck. He's got the patience. He goes to the backhand. And this is where it was kind of unusual. McKegney was on his backhand as well when he received it. Had to do a complete circle. And at the same time, he just pushed that puck towards the net.
Lafleur will almost assuredly get an assist on the goal by McKegney, his 8th at 10:05. Winnipeg 2, Quebec 1. Lawton also draws an assist, and another great cheer for Guy Lafleur as they announce his assist on the goal by McKegney. Past the midway mark in the first period, 2-1 Jets. Goulet checked and knocked down by Mo Mantha, number 22 on the Jet defense. Phil Sykes to Paul McDermott. He relays to Dave McElwain. Moving in on Lecision. Hooked down, and there'll be a penalty to Curtis Lecision. That's the second time he and McElwain have mixed it up. Last time McElwain got the penalty, and this time Curtis Lecision goes to the box. We'll return on Molson's NHL Tonight on TSN in a moment. Lecision goes for hooking at 10:46. This will give Winnipeg a power play opportunity.
Something tells us that Lecision and McElwain are going to see a lot of each other out there tonight. McElwain tries to get around Lecision, and you could see it was kind of a bad hook laid on by Lecision.
Winnipeg's 1 for 1 on the power play. Power play goal by Ellenuk earlier was his 9th of the season. That is tops on the Jets. Howardchuk has 6. He's second on the team. Stephen Finn clears the puck down the ice. The man in the National Hockey League with the most power play points is Al McInnes of the Calgary Flames, who has 31. Mario Lemieux has 30. Not surprisingly, a point man leads the league because he plays such an important part and plays so much. Ashton. Point men here are Olesen and Ellett. Ellett has the puck, number 2, as he moves into the middle over to Olesen. Quick pass into the corner to Ellenuk. Is out with Ashton and Howardchuk in this power play. Marois gets a hold of the puck and sends it down the ice. And there's a minute gone in the penalty to decision. 8:15 to play first period. Jets 2, Nords 1. Teppo Numminen moving to the net. Made a back pass to Paul Gillis of the Nordiques, who hammered the puck onto his own bench, stopping play.
Well, Jim, you talk about the importance back on the blue line, as any goaltender will tell you as well. So many of those shots coming from the point are key, but the Winnipeg Jets have got 2 good defensemen back there, and actually 3 good defensemen when it comes to their power play. Randy Carlyle is more or less, because of his age, on the second unit, but Freddie Olofsson and Davey Ellett are really quality offensive defensemen.
People in Winnipeg might argue that one or both of those players should be going to the All-Star game. Of course, at this time of year, every team has a couple of guys that think should be at the game.
I think there's a lot of players, though, that are All-Stars, whether or not they're going to the game or not, whether or not it's Eddie Olczyk and Gary Lehman in Toronto, or Davey Ellett and Freddie Olofsson here in Winnipeg.
There are no votes for the players other than the starters on the All-Star team, so you can't blame the fans, but the Winnipeg Jets are a team that's not seen very much nationally. Occasionally we get to watch them here. They're not a team that gets a great deal of exposure around the rest of the continent. So there's some pretty good players here that not many people know about, but they're learning about them as the Jets move up the standings.
Well, Thomas Dean is a very underrated player, no question about that, as far as recognition goes around the league.
And he is going to the All-Star game, and unfortunately we won't see him tonight because he's out with back spasms.
A little roughing right off of the face-off. McDermott going to the penalty box. Right off of the face-off, you can see McDermott tries to put Finn in a semi-headlock, but I don't know who's roughing who here. Look at Finn.
So the teams will play 5-a-side for 44 seconds. Then when the decision gets out, Quebec will go to the power play.
I thought Finn looked fairly guilty there as far as
it's fairly rough.
A new holding play anyway. That's called hanging on to one skate when he's got it up in the air looking somewhat like a flamingo.
You might have to come up with a shortened version for the name, but it's not a bad style. Paslowski to McElwain. He's checked by Finn. Finn clears the puck for Tony McKegney. Carlyle moved in, and he comes up with the puck. Randy Carlyle couldn't set up McElwain. Paslowski's centering pass went off of Sorella, and out come the Nordiques. McKegney to Lawton. Sorella back from McKegney. We're late in the decision penalty. He'll be back in 5 seconds. Then the Nordiques will go on a power play for just over a minute. Quebec has a man advantage as Joe Sakic carries the puck in on Teppo Numminen. Plays the puck to Marois. He shoots. Bertone makes the save and covers up on the rebound as it was lying in the crease. Minute and 6 seconds left in the McDermott penalty, and the Nordiques will work on the power play now.
One thing that Daniel Bertone has done very well this year is he's made himself a far better team man. Watch Marois as he takes, first of all, this shot right from the top of the circle. Bertone had a little bit of trouble with this, but he was smart. He knew he had it in close. But Daniel Bertone has made a real conscious effort of making sure that he has become a much better team man. In the past, here with his Jets organization, Daniel would spend a lot of time by himself, and that didn't help in his case of being considered to be very much a part of the team. But things have changed for Daniel, and very much to the better. I think it was maturity more than anything, Jim. He grew up a lot.
An icing call against Quebec while on the power play. Goulet couldn't quite get to the puck, so 48 seconds left in the penalty. Peter Taglianetti adds some toughness to the Winnipeg defense.
But he's been in and out of the lineup this year. He's been hampered with some injuries, but it's that consistent aggressiveness that the Jets really need from Peter Taglianetti back on that blue line. And so now that he's got his opportunity to get back into this lineup, if Peter can perform the way he did last year, he becomes a valuable member, more or less as a sixth defenseman on the Jets' blue line.
The man he battles with for a spot on the defense is Sean Cronin. Cronin the Barbarian, as he's come to be known around the league, and he's scratched from the lineup tonight as Taglianetti gets in. Boschman won the faceoff to Fenton, who lost the puck to Peter Stastny. Stastny, Sakic, Goulet, Lafleur, and Cirella out on this power play. I figure 1,369 NHL goals up front on this NHL power play of the Quebec Nordiques with Goulet, Lafleur, and Peter Stastny. These three playing together have together 3,280 points and 36 years of experience. No rookie jitters on this power play.
No jitters the least bit. But I wonder, Jim, which one of these players, or will it be two of them, that end up being part of a big trade, if in fact Quebec do make a big trade prior to the trade deadline or after the season is over?
Michel Goulet, in an interview earlier tonight prior to this game with our brothers from RDS, the French wing of TSN, said he thought it would be he who would be traded. Says he thinks the Nordiques are about to make another move, and he wouldn't be surprised if he's the man who goes. Guy Lafleur with a shot. Berthiaume with the save, and Lafleur didn't get much on that. 5 seconds left in the power play. Mémoire dumps the puck in, and Lawton picks it up. McDermott's out of the penalty box. The Jets are back at full strength. Phil Sykes racing after the puck. Mémoire swinging at it. McDermott comes up with it, but it's in his skates. Mémoire takes the man. Ashton gets the puck and then was tripped up by Brian Lawton. Out come the Nordiques with 5:40 to play first period. McKegney dumps the puck in.
Look at Guy. He's the first man in there. He just skates by everyone else.
And he got a stick on top of his head. You saw him grab his head after the stick of Smale came up and got him, I guess. Here's Smale carrying the puck now with Ashton to center. Poke check by Joe Cirella. Back comes Ken McRae, number 12. He's checked, had nobody with him on a line change, and Newman tackled McRae and stayed right with him. Deblois kept the play onside, and now here's Newman and McRae, and there's not going to be much of a fight here.
No, not at all. In fact, Teppo is wondering what he was doing to him.
What the heck's going on here? There'll be penalties here to both McRae and Newman, and 5:09 left in the first period. You're watching Molson's NHL Tonight on TSN. A holding minor to Teppo Newmanen. McRae goes for roughing at 14:51. Coincident minor penalties. A 2-1 lead for the Winnipeg Jets over the Quebec Nordiques as Daniel Berthiaume pulled in that hard shot and held on.
That wasn't just a normal penalty situation when you saw that McRae ended up going to the penalty box. He got well over 100 minutes. Teppo only had 12 minutes. Claude Loisel, who was a pretty good checker when he was with the New Jersey Devils.
Picked up with Joe Cirella in a deal that sent Walt Podubny to the Devils. Loisel's playing with Paul Gillis and Lucien Deblois on this forward line against Howard, Chuck, Smale, and Paslowski. Randy Carlyle moving the puck up. Taken away from Paslowski by Deblois, and Curtis Lecision drives the puck back in for Quebec. Deblois gave the puck away, and out moves number 22 Momantha. Up to Smale. Paslowski with a pass to Howardchuk, who's poke checked by Curtis Lecision, and Claude Loisel comes up with a puck. Nice pass to Gillis. His shot blocked off the leg of Peter Taglianetti. Doug Smale took one of those in practice this morning, and there was some doubt as to whether or not he'd play. They found that there was no broken bone. He could get his skate on all right, and here he is in the lineup. Mémoire with a pass to Sakic, and that was offside. With 4:04 left in the first period here, the Jets lead by a goal once again at the NHL Tonight Update Center. Here's Paul Romanuk.
The Washington Capitals had the second worst power play unit in the NHL, but totally disregard that because it looks great here. Michael Pivonka, power play goal to make it 5-4 for the Caps, and then this is not a replay, but a few moments later, another power play. Michael Pivonka from almost the same spot beats a different goalie, though. Sean Burke is being pulled. Chris Terreri is in, and Washington is up 6-4.
Lots of all-star action this weekend on TSN. The legends of hockey. Some of the great old-timers in the game will be playing on Saturday, and we'll show you that game in the NHL skills competition with all the current all-stars. Then Sunday at 1 Eastern, it's the 41st annual NHL All-Star Game from Mario's house, the Igloo in Pittsburgh. And we'll look forward to bringing you all of the action. We'll see Thomas Steen of the Jets. We hope that his back will be better and he'll be in that game. And Joe Sakic of the Quebec Nordiques will be there as well. Dave McElwain might be one day. He's a promising young player with the Jets. And he was just hit very hard, almost lost his helmet as the Quebec Nordiques come up. Sakic carrying the puck into the middle, takes the shot. Bertillon made the save. He could see it all the way. Back the other way come the Jets. Taglianetti dumps the puck in on the fly as McElwain decisions the first man back. 3:20 to play in the period. 2-1 Jets as Michel Goulet in his off wing is crunched against the boards by Paul Fenton. Fenton, McElwain, and Pat Elnuck. And now they're about to change. And so are the Nordiques. Lafleur, Lawton, and McKegney are on the ice. Gord Donnelly overskated the puck. Brian Lawton moved it to center. Lawton to Lafleur. And the pass is behind McKegney. Laurie Boschman picks up the puck. And he'll move back in for Winnipeg. Hooked from behind by Brent Severn, who's getting his first shift of this game in his 4th NHL game. Just called up from Halifax.
He wanted to make sure that his mom and dad were watching tonight, as he knew they would be, but he wanted us to say hello to them for him.
In Vegreville, Alberta. That's not far from Viking, of course, the home of the Sutters. A lot of hockey in that part of Alberta.
I'm sure they'll be as excited as he was before the game when he talked to us, Jim.
He was just tangled up with Paul McDermott. Nothing came of it. Here's Marois breaking for the net. Bertillon made a nice save, and a poke check of Mario Marois showed a great rush towards the goal.
Those two used to play defense together.
Marois and Carlisle. They had all mixed up, and Marois gave Carlisle a bit of a straight arm and a combing of his hair with his glove. Down to 1:40 left in the period. 2-1 Winnipeg. Taglianetti with his shot. Just wide of the net. Dave Ellett takes a sharp angled shot. Big rebound in front, and McDermott couldn't get squared around to take a shot. His backhander went into the corner. Dave Ellett keeps the play onside. Ashton's shot blocked at the defense by Finn. Another shot. That one deflected wide, and Finn is hurt after blocking the initial shot from Brett Ashton. And now Stephen Finn is up and at him and heading back to the Quebec bench. 1:11 left in the first period. Winnipeg leading by a goal on Molson's NHL Tonight.
Blow it up.
Stephen Finn is making his way to the dressing room early with 1:11 left in the first period after blocking the shot from Brett Ashton and staying down, stopping play.
Well, he helped Greg Millen play net right here, and you could see that he just took the brunt of Ashton's wrist shot right in the chest.
Pat Elnuck and Mark Kumpel have scored for Winnipeg. Tony McKegney for Quebec. As Dale Howardchuk.
This new year has been much better to Dale Howardchuk. 1990.
He gets set to face off against Lucien Deblois. Howardchuk's on a 6-game point scoring streak as he starts to pick up his pace that needed some picking up.
At one point in time, he was on about a 55-point pace. That's changed drastically.
Smale with Howardchuk. They tried to crisscross and almost collided. McRae went down, and there'll be a penalty on the play against the Jets. And McRae went down heavily. Doug Smales going to the penalty box.
He's going to pick up a hooking penalty. There's the hook. You could see that Smale had it up plenty high, didn't he?
Stick got up pretty high, and Smale's lucky he just got 2 for hooking.
Exactly. He could well have had much more for high sticking.
So this will be the third power play for Quebec, and Bob Murdoch's cage penalty killing unit will have to go to work again.
Guy Lafleur gets plenty of ice time out there, and just watch him. He deserves what he gets. He's a fantastic skater, and you know, for any young hockey players out there, junior hockey players especially, you want to play a long time in the National Hockey League, beat the 4.5-year career average, improve your skating right now. The better skaters stay in the league longer.
Sakic, Stastny, and Lafleur up front. Sakic's actually back on the point now. McKegney playing up front. Sakic's back with Mémoire. Just 30 seconds to play in the first period. Mémoire's pass to Stastny. The captain of the Nordiques over to Joe Sakic. Off the boards for Stastny. McKegney goes for the net. Lafleur has the puck in his skates and lost it. Cleared by the Jets down the ice with 20 seconds to go in the period. He'll meet Bob Murdoch and the other members of his coaching staff in the first period. Dr. Mike Smith, the general manager of the Winnipeg Jets, coming up as well. There's a shot by McElwain, who leads the NHL in shorthanded goals with a shot that's blocked by Miller. Also bring you up to date on the other scores and highlights from around the National Hockey League in our first intermission with Paul Romanow.
You know, Peter Stastny is probably the most likely player I would think that would be traded, and he's not bad trade bait right now for a team that might want to take a run at the Stanley Cup, for example, because the fact that he's still putting the puck in the net and getting his points. Last year he had 85 points, and he's not going to be far off that right now this year at his present pace.
Greener, it makes some sense to trade a veteran player that has some value around playoff time, but you also have to be careful that you don't take all the veteran leadership off a team, don't you?
I think Guy Lafleur is the player that has no chance of being traded because they just love his leadership abilities. What he does in the dressing room. He's always the first guy in the dressing room.
I don't think Guy will leave Quebec until he's ready.
No, I don't think so either.
Four seconds to go in the period. Elnuck's shot and a blast that went out of the park with a second to go. The Jets won the draw cleanly and had a shot while shorthanded.
This game the last 2 years has been good to him. He's looking younger.
See if you can find his tonic, Greener.
Thanks a lot, Huey. It's another shot again tonight.
Just kidding, pal.
Oh,
just
yeah,
kidding, pal. You've never looked better. Never looked younger.
Nielsen's putting you up to these things. I know it.
That's it for the first period. Winnipeg Jets struck twice before the Quebec Nordiques did. And Winnipeg holds a 2-1 lead, having outshot the Nordiques 10-9 in the first period. Stand by for our first intermission features. Coming up next on Molson's NHL Tonight.
3:30 on the power play. Kumpel at 9:09 to make it 2-0 for the Jets. And then Tony McKegney with his 8th of the season at 10:05 made it a 2-1 hockey game. Shots on goal in that first period. Winnipeg with an edge of 10-9. A lot of action early in that first period. Things slowed down in the second half of the period, Jimmy. But again, Greg Millen was called on to make some big saves early in the period.
Greg is going to be one of the busiest men in the National Hockey League, but he's used to that because he's played in teams in Hartford when they weren't very good, and Pittsburgh when they had a lot of shots, and when he moved to St. Louis, he was a busy man. So it's nothing new for Greg. Plant those guys, Greener?
In the dark. If we get a little sunshine, they might grow. Those grapes, that is.
Millen and Daniel Berthiaume were the goaltenders. The Quebec Nordiques start the second period on the power play with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go and a penalty handed out to Doug Smale late in the first period. Joe Sakic kept the play onside. McKegney snapped a hard shot and Berthiaume pulled it down.
Well, sometimes goalies aren't exactly ready to start off the next period, but Daniel Berthiaume definitely was. Tony McKegney fired that puck. Right out of the air, Berthiaume just whipped it out. Berthiaume definitely has good reflexes. He's quick as a cat. And this was a pretty good example of it. I think that puck may have changed directions as well as it hit Randy Carlyle's stick.
Boschman won the draw. Carlyle tripped and fell. McKegney comes up with the puck. And then he gave it away. It's a crazy sequence of plays. Dave McElwain 2-on-1 with Newman, and McElwain to Newman, and he lost control of the puck and couldn't get a shot away. They resurfaced this, and it looks like they pebbled the ice as well. Here's a shot by Joe Sakic right off the post. Good hard shot by Sakic. And Bertium had his buddies working for him. 20 seconds to go in the penalty to Smale. Bill Sykes, short-handed with his shot, deflected wide by Mario Marois. Guy Lafleur after the puck. Marois gets it. And around on the boards for Sakic in the late stages of this Quebec power play, with the Nordiques trailing 2-1. Stastny, Lafleur, and Gillis inside the blue line. And just offside as the penalty has expired to Smale. The teams are at even and full strength. Sakic and Lafleur sitting side by side. Interesting combination for the Nordiques with, you know, Guy Lafleur scored his first NHL goal in October of 1971, and the man sitting beside him was 2 years old.
Oh, that'll really make Guy feel good, won't it? Watch Sakic's shot here. You can see where Bertium was positioned. Not a bad angle, but what a great shot. Right off the post. Right back out.
Hey, Greener, you know where Guy scored his first goal?
Where was it?
Which team it was against?
No.
Do you know who the goalie was then? No fun playing
well, if I
trivia
don't know the team, how do I know the goalie?
How much fun is it playing trivia with a guy who says no right off the bat and doesn't even try? I'm going to commercial. The heck with this. You're watching Molson's NHL Tonight. Welcome back to the NHL Tonight from the Winnipeg Arena, with the Jets leading the Nordiques 2-1. I'm Jim Houston with Gary Green and Jim Van Horn. Paul Romanuk's keeping an eye on the other games in a busy night in the NHL, and will bring us updates as this game progresses. Here's Paul Gillis, number 23 for Quebec, with Ken McRae. A weak shot is blocked by Daniel Bertium as a glove drifted in towards him. Belongs to one of the Nordiques, Paul Gillis. Here's Brent Ashton. His pass out front. Onto the stick of Olesen, who was spun around. Ashton goes for the slot. Knocked down. Millen kicked the puck to Sorella. Not out. Kept in by Dave Ellett. In behind the net. The centering pass. Shot just wide by Brent Ashton. And a good centering pass by Pat Eleanor. Dave Ellett back to collect the puck in his own zone. 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the second period. Curtis Lecision, number 7 for Quebec. Off the boards and in. Jeff Jackson with a pass to Claude Lazelle, and he couldn't come up with the pass. That was a 2-on-1, and Jackson couldn't quite put the pass on Lazelle's stick. Darren Kimball, the third member of this Quebec forward line, in after the puck as Dave Ellett moves out. Tipped by Marois by Ashton. Ashton heads for the bench on a Winnipeg line change. Jackson in after the puck. Lazelle, lots of time, moves up front, a backhander, he scores! Claude Lazelle ties the game.
Well, Ellett and Kimball were both in the crease. I don't know how Daniel Bertium was supposed to stop that puck. Watch the crease. We know who scored, but watch Davey Ellett and Kimball right now. Kimball gets knocked over, so he ends up in the crease. Kimball falls into Ellett. Now watch where Bertium is. That puck went right underneath of Dave Ellett. And you could just watch Daniel Bertium watching that puck go by and right over the goal line.
The Jets have been very good defensively, Gary, but in their last 2 wins, they defeated Detroit 7-5 and St. Louis 6-5, and they're a little concerned about their defensive play in the last couple of games. And I think we just saw reason for some concern. 2-2 tie. Jackson and Lecision draw assists on Lazelle's 8th of the season at 2:52 of the second period to tie this game. Here's Sakic with his shot. Bertium just got enough of that to keep it out of the net.
The force of it just about knocked him over as well, or it did knock him over. It lost his balance anyway. That was from close in, too, when Sakic let it go.
McElwain's in after the puck. Centering pass to Fenton. to McDermott. His shot was blocked by Millen, who stands up, technically almost perfect when he does that. Looks like one of those goalies on the hockey board game that you move back and forth across the crease.
Now, he teaches goaltending all summer long. That's why he's such a good angle goaltender. He practices what he preaches.
Brian Fogarty dumped the puck in and gets worked over by Paul McDermott out at center ice as the Jets move back out. Taglianetti, breakaway pass, Boschman's in alone. Beauty.
The goal, nice pass play, but it was Peter Taglianetti that initially set it all up. He made the pass to Boschman, then it was a 2-on-none. Only Greg Millen back there to defend, and that's a tough one to defend against. You take the shooter right here in Boschman. At the last second, you could see that Millen realized the pass was going over. He tried to jump over in front of that shot from Fenton, but not quite quickly enough.
Bennett's 12 from Boschman and Taglianetti at 4:25. 3-2 Winnipeg. Fenton was a great acquisition. He's played extremely well since coming over from Los Angeles. Gilles Hamel was the player who went the other way, and he's not in LA anymore.
Fenton has been a hard-working hockey player that is capable of scoring 15 to 20 goals for this hockey club. Sure gives it a strong effort.
Already at 12, and playing with Boschman and Donnelly on this Winnipeg forward line as he goes in looking for more. Curtis Lecision up the middle for Lafleur. The puck got by Carlisle. Bertiome to play it so that Lafleur couldn't get it. McGee's got it again. Lawton's out in front. Newman trying to stay with Lafleur. In behind the net, McKegney goes after the puck. Centering pass, Lafleur couldn't get a hold of it. Knocked away by Teppo Numminen. Here's Laurie Boschman back out at center with Fenton. Carlisle's the trailer on the play. The drop pass, Carlisle shoots. Millen blocks it. The rebound is under Marois. Fenton trying to put it in and he can't. Millen's on top of the puck. Jets 3 and the Nordiques 2 in Winnipeg with more on the NHL tonight. Here's Paul.
Well, there are goalies playing for both of these teams, although tough to believe the way the goals are going in. This is the third goal in 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Bob Rouse gets it to make it 8-5 Washington. David Maley has since responded for Jersey. It's 8-6 and counting in the third.
You never finished that trivia question, Huey. You didn't give me the answer.
No, I didn't think you wanted to play. Guy Lafleur's first goal came on October 23rd, 1971 against Los Angeles. Gary Edwards was in goal.
Boy, I can sleep better tonight now knowing that.
Should know that.
You get really sore at me, don't you, when I don't play your stupid trivia games?
Yeah.
See if I played Nintendo hockey with you anymore then.
Winnipeg 3 and Quebec 2, and Brent Ashton's in after the puck, but he ran into Joe Cirella. Dave Ellett trying to keep the puck in and does. Here's Olesen with a blast at the side of the net. Ashton's shot blocked. Loose puck is cleared. Ellett had a great chance to put it in on a great play by Olesen from the point. He put it right to the side of the net, and Elnick couldn't put it in. Here's Ashton with his shot. Millen with the save, and the rebound is taken by Gillis to the corner, and Finn clears it by Olesen to center. Great pressure by the Jets. To have outshot Quebec 14-13 and lead 3-2. Olesen with a drop pass to Ashton. McRae got a piece of him, and Ken McRae is hurt. Here's Deblois with a drop pass. Gillis with a shot. Bertiome made the save. Ken McRae hobbles over to the Quebec bench as Howardchuk comes back on the right wing. Poke checked at the defense by Brent Severin. And Claude Lozelle is back to pick up the puck. Oops. That slowed things up as Lozelle had to turn and pick up the puck. Jackson by Kimball. And Merwall moves in the right wing to keep the puck in to Kimball. Has a man out in front but can't get it out. In the air now. It's kept in by Jeff Jackson. Mo Mantha. Jackson has him lined up and just got a piece of him as Mantha held up. Here's Howard, checked right in front, and the backhander went wide off the stick of Smale. A turnover, and the Jets quickly got a chance, but Smale didn't make a very good shot backhanded. Jackson whistles one just wide. After the puck is Smale. Pazlowski's coming in late. Pazlowski, number 28, to Smale. Howard checks out front. Smale centering pass, bounces up on the back of the net. Now it's in behind, and Merwall is trying to hold it and stop the play. Kicks it loose, and he'll try and move it out. 7.5 minutes into the second period in Winnipeg. Jets 3, Nordiques 2. Joe Cirella takes Phil Sykes out of the play and takes his helmet off in the process. Michel Goulet, number 16, through center with Sackett. Back come the Jets. McElwain, a great skater, down the right side, puts on the brakes to McDermott. Back for McElwain, and the play was broken up by Joe Cirella. The Jets have got some forwards who can fly, Gary.
They're a good skating hockey club, and they move the puck very well. They have a good transition from defense to offense, but they've had problems scoring, though, and finishing off.
Although they scored 13 goals in their last 2 games, which is better for the Jets, they're still 17th in the league in goal scoring. Here's Paul McDermott. McElwain joining him on the right wing. In after the puck. Centering pass. Fenton went right to the crease and couldn't get a shot away. Fenton, checked by Merwall. After the puck is Boschman. Oleson's breaking in from the point. Boschman to Donnelly, shoots it, didn't get much on it. Millen made the save. Swinging in the puck was Boschman. Centering pass was cleared by Merwall, and Goulet now takes the puck and starts out for Quebec. Sakic has to retreat to get control. 9 minutes into the second period. The Nordiques trailing by a goal on the road. Freddie Olesen is back to touch the puck, and there's an icing call against Quebec. It's the Jets 3, the Nordiques 2. You're watching Molson's NHL Tonight on TSN from Winnipeg. Philadelphia Flyers on Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern from the Spectrum.
It's kind of a familiar sweater for him, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Another icing call against Quebec.
Just to remind you folks out there one more time that Ken Lindsman was traded from the Boston Bruins today back to his old team, the Philadelphia Flyers, for former captain Dave Poulin.
Interesting centermen that the Flyers have now. In particular, Lindsman and Acton are very much the same in the style they play.
You know, I can remember in junior hockey when I coached Keith Acton that a lot of people thought that these two players were so identical. Ken Lindsman and Keith Acton. Poulin to Boston, Ken Lindsman to Philadelphia.
Kumpel had a shot off the face-off here, and Greg Millen made the save. In behind the net, Elnick with a centering pass, and a great save by Millen off Kumpel. And he kicked the puck almost right out of his own zone. Ashton to Elnick. Taglianetti coming up on the play to Kumpel. Had to turn around, and Cirella's lost his stick as he goes in after the puck. Ashton against Lafleur. The Nordiques come up with the puck. McKegney with Lafleur rushing up to join him. Long blast was blocked by Taglianetti, and the Jets take over. Mo Mantha to Pat Elnick just by him. Brent Severin sends the puck to center. 9:45 left in the second period. Winnipeg 3, Quebec 2. The go-ahead goal by Fenton at 4:25 of the second period. Ken McRae, after hurting himself earlier, is back. Seemed to maybe twist a knee on a check. He's out on the ice now, though. The centering pass, and Bertillon made the save off Deblois. Mo Mantha, number 22, is after the puck. Airwalk keeps it in, kicked out by Bertium. Paul Gillis to McRae, lost the handle on it. Cleared by Taglianetti, who's at the end of a long shift and wanted a change. And he'll get one as the Jets are called for icing. Once again, here's Paul Romanuk with an NHL Tonight update.
Edmonton playing Detroit, and they score early in this game. Edmonton does it on the power play. Curry, Tikkanen, Messier. 1-0. Edmonton is on top early against the Red Wings.
That game, of course, marks the return of Jimmy Carson to Edmonton. And the Oilers have been rolling along.
Sure, Carson got a real warm reception when he went into Edmonton.
The Jet captain Dale Hawerchuk still sees his name in the papers on occasion as trade rumors continue to crop up. He's playing on a line with Smale and Paslowski here. Puck was knocked out of the air by a high stick. And that stops play. The Jets have some great prospects on the way, too, Greener. You know, they have some players that were overseas, like Chris Draper, Stu Barnes, they had Dan Ratushny playing for the Canadian national team that won the gold medal. They have Teemu Selänne, who's a great player from Finland they still expect to get, so things could get a lot better in the future.
Pretty diversified team as far as where their players come from.
Here's Smale. Hawerchuk held up so he wasn't offside and goes after the puck. Smale scoots in after it. Back at the point, Carlisle. It's a rolling puck and just knocks it to the corner. Curtis Lecision for Jackson. Kimball goes for the net. Lozelle was taken out of the play by Carlisle. Darren Kimball, who played junior hockey in Prince Albert, working on this forward line with Jackson and Lozelle. Forechecking now, trying to get a turnover. Numanen to Paslowski and out. And here's Doug Smale now with Goulet all over him. Past the 12-minute mark of the second period with the Jets leading by a goal 3-2. Sakic to Goulet. Stastny goes for the net. The hard shot is blocked by Bertium, and Goulet was thinking shot all the way and didn't glance over to see Stastny breaking for the net. 7:39 to play in the second period. You're watching Molson's NHL Tonight from Winnipeg. It's the Jets 3 and the Quebec Nordiques 2 on the NHL Tonight from Winnipeg as Joe Sakic and Laurie Boschman face off. And Boschman won the draw, and he's very good at that. Dave McElwain dumped the puck in. Boschman was just out to take the face-off, and he leaves, so Phil Sykes joins McElwain on this forward line with Paul McDermott. Peter Stastny, who's playing with Goulet and Sakic, moves the puck to Stephen Finn. Backhanded in, and Bertium leaves the puck for Freddie Olesen. Sykes relays to McElwain. Olesen barreling up to join them, and he was tied up by Sakic, who takes the man, but Olesen got the puck to Ellen. His shot blocked by Cirella, bounces in the air. McDermott was checked by Goulet, and Goulet went down, but he kept McDermott from getting a shot. 3-on-3, the Nordiques come back. Nice pass from Sakic to Goulet. The return was intercepted by Phil Sykes. Sykes to McElwain. In on Cirella. He dumps the puck in, and the Jets go to the bench on a line change. McKegney lost the puck to Laurie Boschman, who's now out with Paul Fenton and Gord Donnelly. Lecision is back to touch the puck, and there's an icing call against the Winnipeg Jets. Lots of action in the National Hockey League tonight, and with more on that, here's Paul.
The Oilers got on top early in this one with a power play goal. However, the Red Wings come back. Mark Habshot with the initial shot. Here comes Sean Burr with a chance, and finally Dave Barr says, "I'll take it, thank you very much." That ties it up at 1. They are still in the first period.
Dave Barr will be happy. Score in his hometown of Edmonton. Tie the score 1-1. Here it's 3-2 Jets. Brian Lott picked up on waivers from the Hartford Whalers out with McKechnie and Lafleur.
Keep my eye on tonight, Jim, that Washington score out there. They're ahead. And they win. Isn't that a game that really cheeses you off? I mean, after a coach gets fired, a team comes back and wins. Well, they haven't won yet, but...
And scores 8 goals when they couldn't score for the other guys.
It's almost as if to say, yep, it was the coach's fault.
Really must have been an uncomfortable situation for Terry and Brian Murray.
Yeah, I would say so. But yet I know how Brian would feel. He would feel that, well, he's gone now, so he'd probably rather see his brother with the job than someone else.
Oh, I'm sure that Brian would encourage Terry to take the job and not turn it down just because it was his brother was fired. Here's Lafleur in alone. Scores! Guy.
Some of that leadership we talked about before. Hey, this guy's been back checking. He's shown the great speed. Look at him. He gets that pass. Now, does he shoot from here? No, he just tricks Daniel Berthiaume with a little bit of nifty stick handling right here. Fake shot. He had to get that puck down. It was rolling, but then he just put it right underneath the Berthiaume. As he could see, he was falling.
12th of the season at 14-11. Ties this game at 3-3.
Quebec goal is 12th of the season, scored by number 10, Guy Lafleur. Assisted by number 14, Tony McKechnie, and number 17, Brian Lott.
McKechnie and Lott draw assists on Lafleur's 12th of the season. Another great round of applause for Guy Lafleur as he scores in Winnipeg to tie this game 3-3. Teppo Numminen back to get the puck, and the Nordiques are called for icing with 5:19 left in the second period.
Okay, so how many more years is Guy going to play then?
As many as he wants to.
Well, not much question about that. Teppo Numminen is a player that for the Jets this year has really been a pretty pleasant surprise. There were some questions about Numminen's consistency over the last season, but all of a sudden he feels like he's a comfortable defenseman now in the NHL, and he has really progressed nicely here under Coach Bob Murdoch. He moves the puck well, and he's not very aggressive, no question about that, but he can skate, he's got good skills.
And a good shot, a low one that just went wide off the face-off, won by the Jets. Joe Cirella dumps the puck in. Kimball clears the zone, so the offside is washed out. Jackson and Kimball into forecheck. Randy Carlyle up the middle for Greg Paslowski, number 28. Looks around to see Smale coming up behind him. Swiftly takes a shot off the post.
That got under Millen's arm, didn't it?
Good shot. Smale is just so fast. He rushed right up to make a great play of that when there was nobody else around when Paslowski started through center. There's another guy who can keep playing for a while as long as he can skate like that, Doug Smale. Howardchuk moves the puck up the middle, but not out. Finn keeps it in. No, he didn't. Jerry Pateman said that was just offside. 4:26 left in the second period in a Jet Nordique 3-3 tie on Molson's NHL Tonight from Winnipeg. Welcome back to the NHL Tonight as we reach the late stages of the second period in a close game tied the Jets and Nordiques at 3-3. Here's Freddie Olesen going to the net, tried to pass the puck off to McElwain instead of shooting, and the pass didn't get through. An offside pass over a couple of lines to Olesen stops the play. The Jets have a few defensemen who can step it up and go and lead rushers like Olesen just did, Gary.
Well, you know, when Freddie came in the league a few years ago, I mean, I thought this guy was going to be absolutely great. Almost Norris Trophy winning potential. Fred's got all the talent in the world. He's very skillful, and as we could just see, I mean, Fred Olsen can really take off offensively, right up the middle. Watch him go. I mean, he's got great abilities offensively, but the frustrating thing with Fred, as it is with so many European players at times, is their consistency over an 80-game season. Fred's got about 26 points right now, and he's capable of having a point a game.
Here's Brent Severin and Paul McDermott duking it out right off the faceoff. And Severin goes down on top of McDermott. And for Severin, who's a newcomer in the league, in his 4th game, he picked a pretty tough customer to go at it with in McDermott and did pretty well.
Did he ever? Severin, you know, was a player that played for Claire Drake at the University of Alberta, and actually Claire tried to get him a tryout with the Winnipeg Jets a few years ago. Things didn't work out. And for Severin, maybe it wasn't just time. It's time for him to show some toughness, and boy, did he do a good job against McDermott.
So Severin and McDermott will go to the dressing rooms early with 4:03 left in this second period, and a 3-3 tie with another update. Here's Paul.
Let's update the Islanders and the Canucks, and I can tell you that it is now a final. We'll take a look at one of the Islanders' final goals. Huey McDonough with a great individual effort. One of those guys who's added a lot of character and a little bit of offense to the Islanders since coming over from the LA Kings. They've added an empty net goal, 3-0 the final. Healy with his first shutout of the year.
Here, Paul, Severin and McDermott have each taken 5-minute fighting majors. And the penalties come at 15:57 of the second period. Quebec has come from behind to tie this game twice in the second period. And Michel Bergeron would hope that his troops can keep it that way at least until the third, maybe get a chance to go ahead. Don't want to let the Jets get away from them before this second period is over. Paslowski, Sykes, and McElwain in after the puck, forechecking. Sykes goes to the bench. And on comes Mark Kumpel now. Kumpel stole the puck at center. Ahead to McElwain, tried to pass it back, but didn't matter. The play was offside. Once again, we remind you of our all-star coverage this weekend, Saturday afternoon at 3:30 Eastern Time. It's the Legends of Hockey game. I just happen to have a list here of the players who are going to be in that. Let me see. Brad Park, Bugsy Watson, Dennis Potvin, Bill White, Keith Magnuson, the Redmond brothers, Mick and Dickie, playing against each other.
Hey, I'm going to be on the ice as well.
What are you going to be doing?
That afternoon. Okay, not during the game. After the game, during the skills contest. I'm going to be talking to some of the players participating in the skills contest.
Red Kelly and Scotty Bowman are the coaches in that game.
Fooled you for a minute there, though, didn't I, Huey? You thought I was going to actually maybe be playing in that game.
I thought you were going to be coaching. That's why I had to check this list.
Oh, yeah, right. Fat Jets.
And the skills competition, of course, will follow the Old Timers game, and then Sunday at 1 Eastern, it's the NHL's 41st All-Star game. 2:30 to play, second period here. The Jets and the Nordiques in a 3-3 tie.
Well, Donnelly was the tough man here for the Winnipeg Jets last year. He was acquired from the Quebec Nordiques for Mario Marois, but Donnelly isn't necessarily the toughest dude on the Winnipeg Jets any longer, because Sean the Barbarian Cronin has all of a sudden become the leader in the toughness department. I was a little surprised that Coach Bob Murdoch scratched him tonight, I guess, but he figured, I guess, with Peter Taglianetti out there and Donnelly, that he didn't really need any more toughness. Cronin has been pretty popular here with the Winnipeg Jets fans.
Here's Ken McRae, makes a nice move to go for the front of the net, then lost the puck. Fenton takes over for Winnipeg. Moving up with Donnelly and Boschman through center. Donnelly takes the puck, goes for the goal. A backhand shot is a weak one. Stopped, and Millen punched Donnelly in the face. Donnelly got a shot, went for the goal, and Millen decked him. looking at?
I don't know what's gotten into Mills.
He developed a mean streak.
He obviously didn't take a look at who he was decking. Let's see. It wasn't much of a deck. It was a little bit of a swat.
And he tripped him up, so it looked like he hit him and he went down, but in actual fact, you see, it trips him and he misses on the swing.
Donnelly lost his balance there. I don't think Millen even really got a piece of it.
So Millen wishes he decked him because he's going to get a penalty anyway.
Winnipeg penalty to number 34 for Donnelly. 2 minutes for interference in the crease.
Millen was right to swing at him. I thought he was getting a penalty, but he's not. It's only Donnelly.
7 seconds. The Jets Donnelly 2 minutes for
Interference in the crease on Donnelly, who skated right through the goal.
You don't see that very often.
Not very often at all.
I think maybe referee Ron Hogarth thought that, without the advantage, of course, of the replay, that Ron Hogarth may have thought that Donnelly definitely interfered and maybe touched Greg Millen. That's why the swat. Donnelly didn't touch Millen, and Millen didn't touch Donnelly.
But he definitely went through the crease after getting the chance and the shot on the goal. Strange turn of events has Quebec on the power play and struggling with the man advantage. Here comes McKegney with Lafleur and Stastny. McKegney to Stastny. McKegney's shot is blocked by Berthiaume.
That's a pretty quick line when you look at Stastny and Lafleur, and Tony McKegney has always been able to skate, no question about that. They attacked Daniel Berthiaume. The three of them were in pretty good position. Peter Stastny went back with that pass. He tried to go across the crease with it, I think, and instead it hit a Jets player's skate and ended up back in the sticks of Tony McKegney, who was more or less surprised at the fact that he ended up with the puck, so he just shot quickly.
Tony McKegney has a goal and an assist in this game. It's 3-3 Quebec and Winnipeg. 1:19 to go in the period, 1:26 to go in the penalty to Donnelly. Olesen couldn't clear the puck by Brian Fogarty, number 43. Kept the puck in right in front of the net. Lawton couldn't come up with it. Sirella's shot deflected wide of the net. Michel Goulet's after the puck. Sakic's out front. The centering pass from Lawton went right to a Winnipeg Jet, and out scoops Smale with McElwain. Two good penalty killers on this unit that is the best in the National Hockey League. Sakic moves into the slot. Goulet right in front. They score. Lawton just had to tap it home to give the Nordiques the lead.
Pretty nice pass play being set up. Let's take a look at it as we see the Nordiques getting set up, the breakout pattern, the excellent passing. Now watch, just tic-tac-toe passing. As they enter the Jets' end zone, you see Goulet, he didn't even think about shooting that puck. He just wanted to tap it right across over to Lawton. Watch Goulet. He's not in a good shooting position, but he's in a perfect pass position. And he didn't even waste any time, Jim, of stopping that puck and then passing. He just tapped it right across to Lawton.
Lawton sixth on the power play from Sakic and Goulet at 19:15, with Donnelly in the penalty box for interfering in the goal crease. And the Nordiques have their first lead of this game, 4-3. Here's McCray in after the puck. The centering pass knocked away by Daniel Berthiaume. Into the last 30 seconds of the second period. Howardchuk to Sykes. His shot kicked out and a nice toe save by Greg Millen. Deblois got to the puck. Centers it. Sharp angled shot by Gillis was blocked by Berthiaume, and he holds the puck on the side of the net with 7 seconds left in the second period. Lawton from Sakic and Goulet at 19:15, and the Nordiques have the lead and likely will have into the third.
You know, the thing for Michel Bergeron is I'm sure that he'd love to play his younger players an awful lot more than he does, because you see that Bergeron uses Peter Stastny and Goulet, of course, and Lafleur a great deal out there. Even Tony McKegney's been getting lots of ice time tonight. But on the other hand, Michel Bergeron knows that they've got to stay competitive just to keep the spirits of this hockey club up. And, of course, you don't want to get beat badly every single game. Otherwise, your young players really go into the doldrums. It's a tough decision.
The second period has come to an end, and the Nordiques are certainly competitive tonight. Greg Millen has been effective as the shots on goal are 22-22, and a go-ahead goal on the power play by Brian Lawton has given Quebec a lead as we head to our second intermission. We'll take a whirlwind tour of the National Hockey League and update all the scores when we come back.
Lead over the Jets 4-3, and there was a power play goal late in that period. Joe Sakic was on that power play team that helped to set up that goal. You're going into a third period with the lead. It's something that's been a rare occurrence for your team this year, Joe.
Yeah, we definitely haven't had the lead too often this year after two periods, and I think our record when we are leading after two periods is 5-0-1, so that's a good sign right now. And all we have to do, I guess, right now is to keep their forwards in front of us at all times, and we should be pretty successful. Individually, you're having a very good season, much better than last year. You're definitely going to surpass your season's total unless you stop playing right now. Does it help ease the pain of a frustrating season with the Nordiques, team-wise? A little bit. I feel I'm working pretty hard, and things have gone pretty well for myself, but the team hasn't done so well, and it's been a frustrating year in that aspect. I think only when we get into problems is when we have a lack of effort and 10-15 minutes a game, and that's when the other team usually capitalizes on us. So I think that if we could play 60 minutes of hockey, we usually do pretty well.
Let's talk about the All-Star game. What was your reaction when Guy Lafleur said, "No, I can't go. I think Joe Sakic should be there"?
I was really excited. It's an honor, a boyhood dream, just to play in the National Hockey League, and now I have the opportunity of playing in the All-Star game. So I'm really looking forward to it and excited about it. What are your thoughts going into your very first? A little bit nervous, but hopefully things go all right, and I'm really looking forward to it. Let's talk about the Nordiques now. It has been a frustrating season. You're 23 points out of a playoff picture now. The real season begins after the playoff break. How do you approach that latter part of the season? It's tough, but we just have to maintain positive and go out there and give 110%. Right now, it doesn't look like we're going to be making the playoffs, so I think a lot of guys' jobs are on the line. We just have to go out there and prove to ourselves and the fans of Quebec that we're capable of being a 500 hockey club. Good luck in the third period. Thank you very much. Joe Sakic, looking forward to seeing him play in the All-Star game on Sunday afternoon at the arena in Pittsburgh. We'll take a break and come back with all the updates from the NHL tonight right after this.
Welcome back to the Winnipeg Arena. The NHL tonight with the Winnipeg Jets trailing the Quebec Nordiques 4-3 as the third period gets underway. And the Nordiques took the lead on Brian Lawton's power play goal with 45 seconds left in the second period. And they'll try and make it stand up through the third against a Winnipeg Jet team who's been scoring quite a bit lately.
Let's take a look at that second period scoring summary while we have a minute. Loisel got his 8th to tie it at 2, and then Fenton got his 12th to make it 3-2 for Winnipeg. Guy Lafleur and Brian Lawton then scored at 14-11 and 19-15. Lawton's goal coming on the power play to make it a 4-3 hockey game after 2 periods of play. Shots on goal in that period, 13-12 in favor of the Nordiques, 22 apiece through 2 periods of play. Jimmy?
Bob Murdoch looks on with some concern over the way his team has been playing. Even though they've won 4 in a row, 8-2 in their last 10, he doesn't like the way they've won their last couple of games, and he won't be real happy with the way they've played at times defensively tonight.
If they don't pick it up in this third, it'll be a quiet charter to Edmonton tonight after this game. The Jets move on to Edmonton to play the Oilers tomorrow night.
Nordiques move on to play the Minnesota North Stars on Thursday night. Smale with a centering pass. Newman drives one over top of the net and out of the park.
Just what a goalie loves to see from close in range, a player like Newmanen who can really shoot the puck, wind up as hard as he can, and blast that puck. What do you think about the fans sitting just a little bit over top of the glass behind Greg Millen?
This is a souvenir that's tough to take. That guy's heart's beating considerably faster than it was when he got that souvenir.
He's got the puck, but why is he trembling so much?
But he didn't reach out to grab that either.
Good thing he was wearing brown pants.
36 seconds into the third period. Peter Stastny tips the puck in on Daniel Berthiaume. Berthiaume and Greg Millen are the goaltenders in this game. Here comes Dale Hawerchuk with Paslowski and Smale in over the blue line. And there's an icing call against the Winnipeg Jets.
I think Smale may be one of the faster players in the National Hockey League. He has lightning speed. The knock on Doug Smale is that he doesn't play as well on the road as he does here at home. But, I mean, he's not a very big hockey player. He's lasted this number of years by playing this way. And, I mean, I think that Smale's record pretty much stands for itself. He can break open a game offensively through his speed.
It's in his 10th season, and he can fly. And he's having one of his better seasons. Started the season playing on a line with Thomas Steen and Pat Elnuck, and they've been together much of the time through this season and have been one of the better lines in the league. A lot of line juggling here again tonight because of the injury to Thomas Steen, who's out with back spasms. Winnipeg hasn't had any problems with injuries this season. Steen is out with back spasms, and Sean Cronin is the only scratch tonight. Laurie Boschman to Ellett. Benton keeps the puck into Boschman, moves in close and shoots, and a rebound after Millen made the save. Benton couldn't put it in, but Boschman can. And this game is tied at 4.
Well, Winnipeg still win a fair number of games through hard work, and Boschman certainly is a good example of that, as is Benton. You can see the scramble in front, around behind the net, and then what a wide open net Boschman really had when he came around. Look, Benton couldn't jam it in. By this point in time, Millen is right out of it because he still thinks the puck is over to his right, and then way too late realizes Boschman's going to tuck it from behind.
They've been few and far between for Laurie Boschman this season. At 1:13 of the third, he gets number 6 and ties this game 4-4. Paul Fenton will draw an assist. There's an icing call against Quebec. Dave Ellett will draw the second assist on Laurie Boschman's 6th of the season.
The start of this season, Laurie Boschman didn't think that he was going to be a Winnipeg Jet for very long, but Bob Murdoch and Mike Smith have decided to keep Laurie Boschman because of the depth that they always felt that they needed down center ice. And Laurie Boschman can be a good penalty killer. He can go out and win key face-offs. He's probably one of their best face-off men. So I think Boschman is pretty safe here under Bob Murdoch.
Chuck and Lawton in the face-off circle. Tony McKegney to Guy Lafleur down the right wing, blasts the shot. Almost like old times, although that one wasn't as hard and didn't go in. There he comes again. Lafleur's after the puck. Taglianetti takes him out of the play, and Freddie Olison's back after the puck. Watt turns and shoots the puck towards the net. Lafleur is in after it. Curtis Lecision off the boards and in. And Taglianetti's back to set up. Hawerchuk, Paslowski, and Smale trying to move out. Turned back by Tony McKegney. Playing with McRae and Lafleur now as Lawton has gone off to let McRae on in a Quebec line change. Hawerchuk with a long pass to Paslowski over 2 lines offside. That stops play. 17:28 to play in the third period. It's the Jets and the Nordiques tied 4-4 on Molson's NHL tonight. At the Winnipeg Arena, a building that seats 15,405, scoreboard encourages the fans to encourage their Jets. think the attendance tonight will be somewhere around the 10,500 to 11,000 mark.
I'm just going to say, could you imagine having a scoreboard in Chicago Stadium that kept saying louder?
They take the roof right off the place. Lucien Deblois for the Nordiques, number 32. Dumps the puck in. Ken McRae's after it, but he was checked. And Randy Carlyle comes up with the puck. His pass ahead to Mark Kumpel with Elnuck and Ashton. The drop pass. Elnuck shoots. Millen makes the save. The rebound. Elnuck's after it and can't come up with the puck. The Nordiques can. Ken McRae checked by Ellett at center, but he dumps the puck in and heads for the Nordique bench on a line change 3.5 minutes into the third period. Ellett to Phil Sykes. He can't come up with the puck. Michel Goulet's on the ice now, playing with Stastny and Sakic. Stastny has the puck. Looks around, waiting for a late man. Now the pass poked away by Mo Mantha as Stephen Finn was rushing on after the pass. Here's Dave McElwain for the Jets. Cirella takes his man. Stastny takes the puck. Ellett keeps the puck in, fakes the shot. McDermott, the centering pass. Mantha's shot is deflected by Finn off the inboards. Here's McDermott trying to center it, poke the puck to the front of the net. Only Nordiques were there. Goulet to Sakic, in on the right wing. Holds up. Then is checked, but gets the puck back. The side of the net. Goulet scores! 5-4 Nordiques.
Not a great defensive effort out here tonight by the Winnipeg Jets or by the Quebec Nordiques, but nevertheless, there's been some pretty goals. This is another one of them. Sakic really made a great play here in order to keep possession of that puck. He's so cool and calm. When he has possession of it, watch him out here right now. You know, a lot of young players would panic right now and shoot towards the net right away, but watch. He just hesitates. He lost the puck for a bit, but he regains it. Once he fakes the shot, he put it right over to Goulet. And Goulet scored a lot of goals in his career, but not many any easier.
Number 12 for Goulet from Sakic at 4:15. Cirella also draws an assist on the goal. And the Nordiques are in the lead again, 5-4. Quebec's trying to snap a 10-game winless streak away from home. Claude Lozelle to the point. Marois blast. They score! A deflection. It's 6-4 Quebec.
The shot from the point. Did Jeff Jackson get a piece of it? Take a look at it for yourself. That puck goes back to Mario Marois. Now here's the shot. Watch in front. I don't know whether or not that went off of Jackson high, or whether it went off a Winnipeg Jet player. Very difficult to tell. The puck was really traveling.
And it was waist high, and it seemed to deflect down into the corner on the blocker side of Berthiaume. Jackson gets the goal. Marois and Lozelle assist on Jackson's fourth at 4:41, 26 seconds after Goulet's goal. And the Nordiques have a 2-goal lead at 6-4. And that'll open this game wide open because the Jets will now have to go for it, trying to get back into this. And they've been able to score lately. Here's Newman. Blasts the shot. Millen made the save. The rebound is cleared by the Nordiques. Guy Lafleur down the right wing. Blasts along one wide of the goal. McKechnie's in after the puck. Lafleur and Carlyle meet in the corner. Ken McRae comes in after the puck. He's bumped by Ashton but turns away. McRae back on the point. Precision with his shot. That was blocked by Elnuck. Marois' shot deflects in front. Kick to the blue line, and a nice diving play by Elnuck. Got the puck outside the blue line. Almost 6 minutes into the third period. Quebec has struck twice. Goulet and Jackson after Boschman had tied it up. And Quebec has a 2-goal lead. Dale Howarchuk knocked the puck out of play with his hand. That stops play. Jackson from Marois Lozelle at 4:41. A goal that gave Quebec a 2-goal lead. Winnipeg Jets had a 2-0 lead in the first period of this game. They had a 3-2 lead at one point in the second period. Now the Nordiques have had the lead twice, and now they have won by 2 goals in the third.
This is with Steen out tonight. The Jets need Howardchuk to take over. He hasn't really been too popular out there tonight as far as offense goes. He's been pretty quiet.
Mantha with a pass to Smale. Howardchuk in behind the net to Greg Paslowski, number 28. Looks around with some time to the front of the net. Smale scores.
Tough night for goalies, isn't it? A lot of goals scored from goal mouth pass, others with deflections. Watch this one set up. Paslowski right across the goal mouth. Right over to Smale, who's on his forehand. Watch Smale go. He just gets away from his check, and the timing was perfect. The pass couldn't have been better coming from Paslowski.
So it's 6-5 now. The Jets close to within a goal, and lots of time left in a shootout. Another one.
It must be up.
I'm glad. It's fun to watch. Here's Goulet. Stastny goes for the net. Goulet holds up. Fed the puck towards the front of the net. Berthiaume cleared it for Sykes. Out at center, McElwain with great speed going in on Lecision. Goulet caught him from behind. McElwain to Olesen to the front of the net. Millen made the save with McDermott right there trying to backhand the puck in. Penalty coming up against Quebec. Jets netminder out for the extra attacker. McDermott trying to center. McElwain put the puck out front. The Nordiques touch the puck, and Quebec will be penalized, so the Jets will go to the power play trailing by a goal. 11 goals have been scored here, and it's a busy night in the NHL with goals going in elsewhere. Right, Paul?
You bet, Huey. Talking about Detroit struggling on the road. One guy who doesn't struggle anywhere is Steve Yzerman. He is on the spot, cruising in here to pick up his 31st goal of the season, just kind of bobbling it past Bill Ranford. Big goal for Detroit because they have tied the Oilers.
Just when his team got a 2-goal lead, then the Jets score, and now Michel Goulet's gone for cross-checking.
You know why Bergeron doesn't sleep much at nights anymore?
Winnipeg's power play tonight, 1 for 2. The Jets' power play ranks 17th in the league. Elnick has 9 power play goals, one of them tonight. Olesen and Ellett on the points. Howardchuk, Elnick, and Ashton up front on his Jet power play. Jackson and Lozelle. Finn and Sorella, the penalty killers for Quebec. And the Nordiques have already killed 30 seconds in this penalty to Goulet. 6-5 Quebec. Finn sends the Jets back into their own zone. Dave Ellett to Brent Ashton, breaking through the middle. The pass was in the air and drifted in on Millen, and he was able to hold on in the crease with Ashton coming right down upon him.
Well, Ashton headed right for the net. Here's a little trivia for you, Jim. How many sweaters has Brent Ashton wore in the National Hockey League?
7.
I don't like playing trivia with you anymore. See, I tried to trick you with a trick question.
Well, he wears number 7. I was just guessing.
Well, there goes Ashton. He almost got possession of that puck, and he had split the defense at the time. He was looking for that breakaway pass. Trick of that is he's only played for 6 franchises, but of course he wore 7 sweaters because the Colorado Rockies became the New Jersey Devils. And Jim Houston got that question.
I get the toaster oven?
Yeah, you get it along with the microwave.
1:15 left in the Goulet penalty. The Nordiques 6 and the Jets 5. The shots are 30-25 in favor of the Jets. Boschman, as usual, out to take an important faceoff. Howardchuk, Elnick, Ellett, and Olesen. Ellett's lined up as a right winger for this faceoff. Boschman kicked it back to Olesen. Over to Ellett. That's why he was there, to try and set up off the boards here. Gillis was right on him. Howardchuk takes the puck to Dave Ellett. Thought better of shooting. Howardchuk. Screen shot. Millen kicked it out. They score. Boschman.
Have a tough time getting goals, and when it comes time defensively, they have a tough time as well keeping them out. Boschman just simply outmuscled his way in front of the net. He got that rebound. Watch Boschman. He positioned himself well. He beats Mario Marois for possession of that puck and tapped it in behind Millen.
Boschman second of the night, 7th of the season. Howardchuk and Ellett will assist at 8:21. And it's a 6-6 tie.
Marois sure wasn't very aggressive in front of that net, trying to take Boschman out.
Here's Brian Lawton now for the Nordiques as they come back. Teppo Numminen forced back in his own zone. 11 minutes left. Still lots of time for more to go in. 12 so far in a 6-6 tie in Winnipeg. Cirella up the boards. Here's Lawton to McKegney. Lafleur's on the right wing as the Nordiques move to the blue line and over. Back to pick up the puck is Mark Kumpel. Pat Elner with Ashton through center. Carlisle drives the puck in off the glass. Brent Severn's back to get it, number 5 for the Nordiques. Marois, who's played a lot tonight, lifts the puck through center. Paul McDermott to Dave McElwain. Going in on Severn. Ellett's trailing, so is McDermott. McElwain using his speed to get away to centering pass, and Marois cleared it away from McDermott. McDermott to McElwain. What great acceleration he has. Stopped this time by Marois, who was chasing him, and Marois cleared the puck. Mo Mantha to McDermott to Ellett, who lost the puck. Sakic's got it. Takes the shot way wide of the net with Stastny in front. Stephen Finn keeps the puck in. And it went over the glass. That stops play. Stay tuned following the game tonight for our TSN Turning Point, brought to you this evening by AC Delco.
All right, now come on. What's going on in Edmonton? The Oilers were up 3-1. John Shabbat looking more like Guy Lafleur with this pass right through traffic on the tape to Lee Norwood. And Detroit is up by a score of 4-3.
Yeah, what is going on there? We know what's happening here. It's a shootout between the Jets and the Nordiques. Nordiques had a 6-4 lead just a few minutes ago. Smale and Boschman have scored a couple of minutes apart. Boschman on the power play with his second of the night to pull Winnipeg into a 6-6 tie, but a ways to go with 9.5 minutes left in regulation time. Gillis is in after the puck for Quebec, checked by Laurie Boschman. Donnelly to Fenton. And the Jets dump the puck out to center. Joe Cirella to Lucien Deblois, and he dumps the puck in. Olesen and Gillis on a collision course. In after the puck is McRae, but he couldn't fish it out. Peter Taglianetti, number 32, up the middle for Fenton. Back for Taglianetti. And with under 9 minutes to go in the third period, Taglianetti dumps it in, and both teams change on the fly. Dead blow off for Lozelle. He couldn't handle the pass. Finn chased by Paslowski and Howardchuk. For Jeff Jackson and out to Claude Lozelle, and he couldn't pick up that pass. Carlisle shoots it back in for Winnipeg. Howardchuk gets the puck. Newman from the point. Back to Howardchuk. He shot it. Fan on a rolling puck, and it drifted just wide of the net. Claude Lozelle dumped the puck in. Daniel Berthiaume leaves it there for Teppo Numminen. Howardchuk back to get the puck. Almost gave it away up the middle, but the pass got through to Smale. He's trying to scoot away from Lozelle and can't quite get away with the puck. Momantha now. The Jets changing on the fly once again. Short shifts now with 7:50 to go in the third period. Elnick, Ashton, and Kumpel over the boards for Winnipeg. Puck is onto the Quebec bench for a stop in play. Six tie from the Winnipeg Arena on Molson's NHL tonight.
Everything I know I've learned from you. You've always been there to see me through. Can't beat it, you know it's the real thing. Feeling you get when you know there's someone there for you. Thanks, Dad. Can't beat the real thing. Coca-Cola Classic.
Welcome back to the NHL tonight from the Winnipeg Arena, where the outcome of this game is far from decided, with the Jets and the Nordiques locked in a 6-6 tie.
I think a lot of folks would tend to look at the Quebec Nordiques, and if they didn't follow standings every single day, would think that Michel Bergeron may have problems defensively with their team, but offensively, they'd be a pretty good hockey club. Coming into this game, they were the worst in the National Hockey League. But we've given them a little bit of a cure. In our last 4 games on TSN, we've had 47 goals scored so far. That's 11 goals a game, and this one isn't over yet. In order to be 6 goals so far tonight.
And called for icing here. But don't you think that goals against, and the Nordiques are certainly dead last in that department, is a team statistic?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I don't think
it's not just the defensemen, it's the forwards have to be very much a part of that as well.
No question, but that also applies to offense as well. We can look at Peter Stastny and Goulet and Sakic and think that, well, look, they've got some pretty good forwards, but at the same time, they've got to have some good offensive defensemen that contribute at the same time.
Into a shootout tonight, and I don't think Bob Murdoch in particular wanted that at all. Michel Bergeron will take the win any way he can get it. But Murdoch has taken great pride in the way this team has played defensively this season. And I don't think he thinks he's got the guns to be in a shootout like this. And normally you wouldn't think the Jets had, because with Howardchuk not having a tremendous season and Steen out of the lineup, you wonder where you're going to get 6 goals. But they found them tonight.
Well, the Jets win so many of their games by only 1 goal and in real tight, low-scoring battles, oftentimes also getting outshot. Remember a Calgary game only a few weeks ago that was a perfect example of that? Didn't they get outshot by about 50 to 22 and yet lost the hockey game? Won the hockey game 2-1, I should say.
The Jets are 11-3 in games decided by 1 goal.
It's a fine line, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Seven minutes to play in the third period here. 6-6 tie as Goulet moves through center and dumps the puck in. Stastny and Sakic move up to join him. But the Jets clear the puck. Phil Sykes with McElwain sprinting through the middle. Held up by Stephen Finn. Sykes goes after the puck. He's checked by Curtis Lecision. Sakic back to get the puck. McDermott keeps it in. The fans are all over Ron Hogarth for not calling Finn. He's checking McElwain. A shot from the point is blocked by Millen, and McElwain's down again underneath Finn, who's giving Dave McElwain a hard time. The Jets are changing on the fly, as are the Nordiques. Sakic checked by Fenton at center ice. Flips the puck to the blue line. Taglianetti takes over as Sakic gets off the ice to finish a change. Fenton off the boards for Boschman. Donnelly goes for the net. There's the pass, kicked out by Millen. Deblois working to try and get the puck out. Taglianetti kept it in. Brent Severn quickly moves it back out for Quebec. Gillis flips the puck into the Winnipeg zone. Down to 5:40 left in the third period. Gord Donnelly over the blue line, shoots one. Millen makes the save. Boschman's after the rebound and couldn't get it. Newman and out at center with Randy Carlyle. Once again, the Jets change on the fly as Newman is turned back by the checking of Paul Gillis. Now the Nordiques change on the fly. Jeff Jackson with Darren Kimball and Claude Lozelle through center. Jackson can't control the puck, chases it, gets a hold of it. Kimball shot, he scores! 7-6 Nords. And the shootout continues.
Not great battles in front of the net, not aggressively anyway, for possession of that puck. And this goal is no exception. As you watch in front of the net and watch Kimball now, he is just able to outmuscle Newman, I believe it is, there for possession of the puck. And he got his stick on it, and that's all it took to get by Berthiaume. Not a great shot by any means, but one that just seemed to fool Berthiaume.
Darren Kimball, who played junior hockey in Prince Albert, has missed the last 4 games with a hip injury. Back in the lineup tonight, and he has his 3rd of the season. And it's Quebec 7, Winnipeg 6. Lozelle gets the 2nd assist. Kimball from Jackson and Lozelle at 15 minutes. And a 30-second timeout has been called here.
Well, I know what Bergeron, anyway, was explaining to his team. Bob Murdoch isn't doing an awful lot of explaining to anyone right now. I guess the Jets know what they've got to do, but Bergeron's intent, as he's very graphically showing us, that he wants to make sure that his players get back. And when he called them over to the boards, he was continually signaling to them, if they're in, to get back. Constantly back check.
It was Bergeron's 30-second timeout. Here's Hawerchuk moving in with Smale to the front of the net. Millen poked the puck away. Joe Cirella clears the puck and gets it outside the blue line. Dumped in by Jeff Jackson, who peels off to the bench on a line change. Mo Mantha's pass up the middle, knocked right back on goal, and Mantha takes over again. 4.5 minutes to go in the third. Paslowski over the blue line with Smale. Elliott shot. Millen makes the save, and the rebound is picked up by Tony McKegney. At center with Kimball. His pass. Lawton's going in, shoots it. Berthiaume makes the save, and Elliott picks up the rebound. Wide open, end-to-end hockey. Hawerchuk up the middle for Paslowski, who dumps the puck in. Just over 4 minutes left in the third period. Quebec 7, Winnipeg 6. Here's Guy to Brian Lawton. Guy goes for the front of the net. The pass is picked up by Frederick Olesen. Ahead for Pat Elnuke, who couldn't pick up the pass. Olesen, rink wide, a pass cut off by Lafleur. He couldn't hold on to it. Kumpel with a pass to Taglianetti. His shot. Millen makes the save and holds on with Ashton right there looking for the rebound. 3:36 left in the third period. A 1-goal game in Winnipeg.
The thrills and excitement of NBA basketball is on TSN. Tension from division rivals and top teams on television's best basketball schedule keep you at the hoop. TSN takes you courtside for action only the NBA provides. Run with the best and follow the leading teams all the way to a world championship. Friday night, Chris Mullin leads the charge as the Golden State Warriors travel to Motown to meet the world champion Pistons. It's the NBA on TSN. The Warriors and the Pistons Friday night at 8 Eastern and only on TSN.
Welcome back to Winnipeg, where Darren Kimball's third goal of the season at the 15-minute mark of the third period has given Quebec a 1-goal lead over the Jets. The Jets haven't lost at home since December the 2nd when the Islanders won in here. That's a span of 8 straight games, a long undefeated streak for the Jets in this building.
So often happens that you tend to look at the standings in the case of the Winnipeg Jets and think you might have an easy game tonight against the Quebec Nordiques, and that has not been the case.
McElwain couldn't get a shot away after taking the pass, and now he'll have to chase the puck back into his own zone. 3:20 is the time remaining on the clock. McElwain over the blue line with Phil Sykes, who was upset by Gillis, and he got away with some interference. Deblois dumps the puck in, heads for the bench on a line change with 3 minutes to go in the third. Taglianetti over center. Dumps the puck in. On the fly is Pat Elnick with Fenton out front. The centering pass was picked up by Joe Sakic, who starts it out for Quebec to Peter Stastny. Goulet holding on to the puck with Peter Stastny, and the pass was cut off by Carlisle. Here's Stastny, number 26, to the point to Finn. His shot stopped by Bertillon. And Paul Fenton takes over. Rink wide for Pat Elnick. He leaves the puck for Teppo Numminen. Moving in on Finn. Marois took the puck, and Finn's going to get a penalty for holding on Teppo Numminen with 2:25 left, and the Nordiques leading by a goal. The Jets go to the power play.
Well, Finn's been the most aggressive defenseman, maybe with the exception of Severn out there tonight for this Quebec Nordiques hockey club, but you could see right here that it was a pretty obvious call for Ron Hogarth to make. Finn just tackled Numminen.
The Jets' power play, even though it ranks 17th in the league, has gone 2 for 3, with Boschman and Elnick scoring on the power play tonight. And a power play goal here, of course, ties the game. It's been a long, tough night for Michel Bergeron. His team had a 6-4 lead, now a 7-6 lead. And Bob Murdoch seeing his team in a shootout again. They won 7-5 over Detroit Friday, 6-5 over St. Louis Sunday, and now he's called a timeout. No, he hasn't called a timeout. He's swapping goaltenders. He sends Essenza out on the ice. We saw Mike Keenan do this last night to buy time. Essenza for Bertillon, and Ron Hogarth, who was also the referee in that game, was quickly over to tell Murdoch that he better get his man in the net.
Interesting. We talked to Ron Hogarth about that this morning in the airport, and there's really nothing that a referee can do other than to make sure that if it's the visiting team that tries it, that they don't get away with a late line change, and that's what a goaltender would be considered doing. But in this case, Bob Murdoch's got the last change, and his change happens to be a goaltender.
Get a break without a timeout. That's what the strategy is there. Off the draw, cleared outside the line by Quebec. Elnick, Boschman, Howardchuk, and Ellett inside the blue line. Laurie Boschman leaves the puck for Pat Elnick. Back on the point to Ellett. Oleson's on the other side. There's the pass. Trying to screen in front is Laurie Boschman. There's the shot. Whistled just wide by Dale Howardchuk. Less than 2 minutes to go in the third period. A minute and a half to go in the Stephen Finn penalty, and the penalty killers are changed up by Quebec. Out come the Jets with Howardchuk carrying the puck ahead to Oleson. Looks around. Elnick's going for the net. Around on the boards. Boschman takes over. Checked by Deblois. And the puck is cleared. 1:10 to go in the penalty. Minute and a half to go in the period. Pat Elnick to the point. Ellett's shot. Kicked out by Millen. Loose puck in front. Howardchuk tried to center it. Knocked away by Cirella. Dale Howardchuk goes for the net now. Out in front. Great save by Millen on Ellett. What a sensational save by Millen. 50 seconds to go in the penalty. 1:10 to go in the period. 7-6 Nordiques, and Millen just saved the day.
That's the big one. The big opportunity for the Jets. Oh, bad bounce.
Now it's the last minute of the third period. 30 seconds to go in the Finn penalty. Millen may be forced to make more. The Jets are still on a power play. Goaltender Essens is racing towards the bench. It's a two-man advantage with the net empty for the Jets, but the Nordiques can ice the puck going for the net. Now they just frantically try and get it out. Here's Ashton moving it back into Pazlowski. The puck got caught up in the linesman's skates, and the Jets are back at center, running out of time in the penalty. Ashton's over the blue line and after the puck. All the Jets inside the blue line. Jackson swings at the puck and misses it. Now the Jets take over. Ashton, centering pass, picked up by the Nordiques and cleared to center. Stephen Finn with a chance at the open net, shoots it and puts it away for the Nordiques with 13 seconds to go.
Not bad timing. Finn comes out of the penalty box where he was somewhat in the doghouse, and he goes straight to the penthouse as he in fact finishes this game off more or less. The Quebec Nordiques. Wins are far and few between for the Quebec Nordiques. This one's going to have to feel good.
This will be just their 4th road win of the season, just their 9th win overall, and they'll send the folks away from this building unhappy. I'm sure a lot of these people thought the Jets might get 6 tonight, but the Nords might only get 1. Instead, it's now 8-6 Quebec. Finn's goal into an empty net at 1947 has salted this one away, but let's not forget the sensational save off Dave Ellett by Greg Millen with about a minute to go. 8-6 is the final score for Quebec, and the Nordiques' 10-game winless streak on the road has come to an end. They've won for the first time away from home since December 2nd, and an 8-game unbeaten streak on home ice has ended for the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, Bergeron's got a smile on his face, but you know, Dave Ellett all but had this game tied up until it came to the big save by Greg Millen. The Winnipeg Jets were all over the Nordiques.
Boschman to Ellett, and Millen saved the day with about a minute left, and Finn salted the game away for the Nordiques with the goal with 13 seconds left into an empty net. The final score from Winnipeg, the Quebec Nordiques 8 and the Winnipeg Jets 6. The Molson Cup 3 stars when we return in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are today's Molson Cup 3 stars as selected by Ken Nicholson of 58 CKY Radio. Tonight's 3rd star from the Quebec Nordiques, number 19, Joe Sakic. Tonight's 2nd star from the Quebec Nordiques, number 44, Mario Marois. And tonight's 1st star from the Winnipeg Jets, number 16, Laurie Boschman. The Winnipeg Jets' next home game is Friday, January 19th, when the New York Islanders are...
Once again, the Molson Cup 3 stars of tonight's game. The 1st star from the Winnipeg Jets is Laurie Boschman, who had 2 goals and an assist in a losing cause. Mario Marois also picked up an assist tonight, but was outstanding defensively for the Quebec Nordiques. And Joe Sakic picked up 2 assists and was a powerhouse for Quebec all night long tonight. The 3 stars, Laurie Boschman, Mario Marois, and Joe Sakic. Let's take you back to TSN Control in Toronto and Paul Romanek.
And thank you very much, Jim. 8-6.
Time now for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by AC Delco, and it comes with about 10 seconds left to go in the hockey game. This is an outstanding save by Quebec Nordiques goaltender Greg Millen. It actually saved the game because Quebec Nordiques would get another empty net goal, and they would go on to win the hockey game by a score of 8-6. Outstanding play by Greg Millen. A cash donation will be made to amateur sports on behalf of TSN and AC Delco Smart Parts.
The St. Louis Blues and the Quebec Nordiques initially made the trade that sent Jeff Brown to St. Louis and Greg Millen and Tony Herkus to Quebec. You and I debated whether or not a great goaltender would make a lot of difference to the Quebec Nordiques. Greg Millen has obviously made a difference, but they're 3-5 in the 8 games since he's been there. He can obviously help, and I suspected that even a great goaltender behind that team could do no more than steal them a few wins, but maybe he can bring a new attitude to them.
I think that's the key, Jim, is that, first of all, when you've got a veteran goaltender like Greg Millen, then all the players in the dressing room, from the young players to the veteran players like Guy Lafleur think going into a game that they've got a far better chance of winning. And that's nothing against Ron Tugnut, especially, or any of their young goaltenders, but it's just that feeling of confidence, and so many games are won on that confident feeling.
Confidence is not a word that the Winnipeg Jets will have after tonight, even though they've won 2 of their last 3 games, and I speak of those 3 because they've been the highest scoring ones. They'll be a little worried about their defensive play that's got them up to 7th place overall, but won't keep them there, because even though they're only 7th overall, they're only 6 points out of 18th.
Well, this is a hockey club, though, that hasn't necessarily, I mean, they've been stressing defense this year, but in the standings, they're still in the middle of the pack defensively. And likewise, when it comes to their offensive game, they're even worse. So, I mean, here's a hockey club that aren't usually going to win big games, and they can't afford to get into a shootout, but yet all of a sudden, at the same time, there's a lot of fans that think they can't score enough goals. So the last few games here at home, they've scored a lot of goals, and I don't think there's any question then that players start getting their confidence now they can score goals, and they start leaning away from playing a better defensive brand of hockey, and that always upsets coaches.
It's funny what's happening in Toronto, a team that's scoring a lot right now. People are complaining that they're not winning the right way, that they're not playing well defensively, and I think most teams want to play well defensively, but we've seen a lot of shootouts. I wonder what causes them when one team starts to get ahead.